I recently got to road test an idea in a really challenging environment and it worked really well, so I wanted to share it with you. Now, this environment was a bunch of low-level students who probably don't want to be at school. And this game was designed to get to know them because I was just walking into a classroom without knowing anyone's names. And then it was also designed to get to teach them fractions, decimals, and percentage and how they relate with one another. And I've called this game Yestimation. Now, the idea is you'll pick a number of students and they'll stand up. Every student will have a pen and paper or a whiteboard, a mini whiteboard. And the people that are standing up are the ones you're asking the question to. So the question might be, how many of these people, or do you have Taylor Swift on your playlist? And if you do, you stay standing, and if not, you sit down. And so everybody, including those people that I've chosen, estimate how many out of the 4 students that will be true of. So how many students will have Taylor Swift on their playlist? You write it down, and then after everyone's ready, you reveal the answer. It might be 3 out of 4, 2 out of 4, whatever. And so if you get it right, you get a point, and if you get it wrong, you don't get a point. Now, to get a point, you also need to specify in the format that I require. So if I said, I want you to express that as a percentage, students now need to understand what 3 out of 4 means as a percentage. Now, I start there because that's sort of easy. If kids can figure out, if 2 people are standing up, each student represents 50%. So if 4 students are standing up, each student represents 25%. And if not, there's an opportunity for you to directly teach that. So we continue on. And as we go, we ask some different questions and we might start using different numbers. So I might get 5 students to stand up. So we'd all be sitting in a circle and I'd just keep moving around. Just make sure everyone has a go so everyone can get to know different things about other kids. So the next 5 stand up and I say, all right, how many people have earned over $200 this week? And so everyone estimates. They say, oh yeah, I know this kid's got a job. Yeah, he worked here. And they're all getting to know some things about each other. But they're also getting to know some things about percentages because now you've got 5 students standing up. And you can write this as a fraction. I've got, this many out of 5, which translates to this many out of 10, which translates to this many out of 100. And so I had the opportunity to directly teach these kids who really struggle with this to work out what a percentage is and what percentage actually means. And so they worked out pretty quickly that each student represents 20%. And as a decimal, that's 0.2. And so I'd ask them to express it in whichever format, and then we moved on again. And I'm a bit of a risk taker, so I like asking some questions that may be a bit personal or people don't want to admit to. So, if you believe it's okay to pee in the shower, stay standing. And so they're like, oh, this kid will stay standing, this kid will stay standing. And if it's okay to pee in the pool, and again, maybe a few less stand up. But it's just quite interesting to notice some things about students. And there's a bit of heckling and things like that. And you're the judge when it comes to this. You know the maturity level of your students, whether they're going to cope with questions like that, or whether you trust them to let them ask questions themselves. But what you are in control of certainly are the numbers that you choose, because once you've done 5 students, you might move to 10. And then hopefully by doing that, kids can find the link between those 2 numbers. Once you know how to find a percentage with 10 kids, 5's easy, or vice versa. And so you might even move to 8 after doing 4. So once you've done 4, it's kind of easy to go to 8 because each person represents half as much. And so you continue on asking questions, getting to know your students. Now, I've got the bank of questions that I used that I'll pop at the end of this video. You can steal them, or preferably make your own, because you are the expert when it comes to what your students are into and how they relate to one another. Enjoy.